Welcome to the Cutting Edge Convention, a worldwide movement to revolutionize your life. No more stumbling around in the dark, wasting precious weeks, months, and years trying to figure it out on your own. Get ready for valuable innovations and strategies. And now, here's your host, Marcy Peters, the Age Backward Mentor.
Hello, and welcome to the Cutting Edge Convention, innovations to revolutionize your life. I'm your host, Marcy Peters, the Age Backward Mentor. I help smart, successful men and women just like you step into a body they love and a life they love even more. And today I want to introduce you to an amazing entrepreneur and business builder. Her name is Bethune. And let me tell you about Ty. She's the founder of Hello Trailblazer, a company dedicated to teaching visionary CEOs and business owners how to blaze their own damn trail. By using cutting-edge personal development, mindset, and business growth tools and techniques, she helps people create the joy, freedom, and fulfillment that they've been yearning for while increasing the bottom line. She's the woman people go to when they're finally ready to make their big goals and deepest desires a true reality. She runs a multiple six-figure company in Northern California. Ty, welcome.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me, Marcy.
Yes, I'm so glad you're here today. And so we're going to talk about how to create stress without strain or struggle. But first, I'm curious, what made you decide to start your company, Hello Trailblazer?
Yeah, so I was like a lot of different people, working a professional career, stressed out, overweight, overworked, extremely unhappy with my life. And, one of the big things is on the outside, I had a lot of success, but I really was just unfulfilled in my life. And I really went on a journey, a personal development journey. And what really came out of that is that within me and within all of us, we have the power to change our lives, to create lives that are beautiful, that are wonderful, that are joyful.
Yes.
And that really being a true trailblazer is more of a mindset and a choice that we can all decide to experience in our lives. So after kind of transforming my own life, losing a lot of weight, 50 pounds to be exact,
right.
And really creating a career and a company and work that I truly, truly love, I now just dedicate my life every day to helping people do the same. Because no matter where you come from, no matter where you live, no matter what you think is possible, we all can have a life that's really worth living. So that's why I created the company, Hello Trailblazer.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing your passion and your story. I'm sure a lot of people, and I could relate to, I was in the corporate world for a long time and just feeling very unfulfilled and dissatisfied. And actually it was part of the health situation that was going on. And a lot of people, I'm sure, can relate to that feeling and feeling like, is this all there is? There's got to be more, and there's got to be something that I can feel with my heart and put my energy and passions behind. And perhaps it is a corporate job for some people. There's nothing wrong with that. And, for others, they want more. And so there's no right or wrong to this, but there is another option.
Yeah. It's really about creating balance. Even before I stepped out and created my own business, I really was able to empower myself within the corporate world, with my life, with my time, with projects that I took on, with job opportunities that I decided to take on. So there's a way to empower yourself no matter what you do for a living. There's a way to speak for yourself. There's a way to ask for what you deserve and get it. And it all starts on the inside. So no matter, again, what your career is not as more important. It's about how we approach our life, how we approach ourselves, and how we approach what we do and how we relate with people.
Thank you. That's such a good reminder. Yes, how we're showing up. That's a really good point. So you have 3 ways to create success without strain or struggle. Let's talk about what those are. What's the first one?
Yeah. The first one is really stepping into a big vision for your life. And, this is one of those where it's really important that you honor what you really want for your life in your heart. And this can be a really big place where a lot of people struggle. And because we don't give ourselves permission to want what we want, right? It's not about what your spouse wants. It's not about what your kids want, right? It's not about what your mother and father want or did for a living. This is not about what anybody else on this planet wants. It's about what you want. And so really getting honest and really raw about what we really, really want. So many people, so many of my clients get tripped up there because, there are some of us, I've had clients who've changed careers, right? Because what they really want is to open a B&B in Costa Rica. This is what they really, really want, right? And so, sometimes these dreams and these goals come up for us and we're not giving ourselves permission to want what we want. Or we're saying, well, no, I can't do it. Or no, I shouldn't want that, right? There has not been any one person that I've ever worked with over the years who actually doesn't know what they want. Everybody knows what they want. So the tip I would say is, you know what you want. You know already. You just aren't allowing yourself to say, yes, that's what I want. And one of the big reasons why we do that is because a lot of us are conditioned to care about what other people think. And a lot of us are conditioned to, not own ourselves and just to please others. And so that's one of the super big keys. So tips, I would say, give yourself permission to want what you want. You can sit in a room by yourself with a journal, take a moment for yourself and write it out. No one's going to kill you. I promise.
Yeah. Having that space, creating that space to identify what's important to you and being bold enough to start to talk about it or write it down or tell someone is a big step. But it's so important because how are you going to get to where you really want to go if you haven't totally identified that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is something where there's no editing. It can be crazy. Just be with yourself about it. Right. And so that's the first step. And it's going to be a big vision. And one thing I'd also offer, if you're not a little bit afraid of it, if you don't almost look at it and say, that's kind of nutballs,
right.
You're not going deep enough. When you get to the nutballs vision, that's the one.
Right. So if it's just one piece of the big vision, let yourself get to that bigger spot. And also, I think we get hung up on the how. That the how are we going to get there? That sounds like, starting a B&B in Costa Rica, like that sounds, almost insurmountable. But it's not about the how until, for the first thing, like what you're saying is just to identify.
Correct. Yeah. And one of the things too is when people haven't made the decision yet, or they haven't acknowledged that this is what they want, the universe, this power of life that is constantly changing based on our choices, based on who we are. In other words, it's like if you haven't gotten in the car and started to go, it's not moving for you. It's not giving you the circumstances yet, right? We have to do our part. Let life do its part, but we have to do our part. The first part is acknowledging it, accepting it, and saying yes. And also you made up a really, really good point there. That, it's really looking about, it can be in different areas of your life. How do you want your relationship to look? How do you want your career to look, right? How do you want your body to look? We're holistic beings, meaning that if we have one area of our life that's off, it's affecting other areas of our life. And so it's really important to look at, from a holistic standpoint, what do you want? And then there might be a place for you where you have a little bit more kind of like zest, right? So like for me, when I kind of started this, weight loss was a big thing for me. So that's what I kind of committed to myself, got additional support for first, right? And then kind of like the dream career, dream profession that came later. But, you can start wherever you're at. wherever you shift, whatever has charged for you, start there.
I love that. Thank you. Okay. So that's a great first tip. And then what's the second one?
Yeah. So the second one is the second you do this, and one thing about me is I've always committed to telling people the truth, right? The moment you do this, you're going to have an opportunity to change. You are going to have an opportunity to change. What I mean by that is we can't move forward and stay in the same place at the same time. It's like not humanly possible, right? So we can't change and want something bigger and more expanded for our lives and still stay the same. So being open to shifting things, being open to new experiences, actually expecting the change will help you when it comes up, right? It's like, the moment you decide to do this, right? Your partner the next day may all of a sudden out of the blue say, you know what, you need to sit down and talk, right? And just remember that Ty said something's going to change, right? It doesn't have to be bad. So one of the biggest constants in life is change. Change and growth is a universal principle, right? So the more that we become comfortable with that idea that things are going to change, we're going to change. The things that made us happy 5 years ago don't need to make us happy today. And that's okay. There's no shame. There's no guilt. There's no blame about it. Holding on to the past or holding on to who we were, that causes a lot of stress.
Yeah,
it causes a lot of stress on us. So just know that something's going to change. Okay. And just be open to the change. That's the biggest thing. And also, as you're going through that change, things inside of you are going to change. Your thoughts about how you feel about yourself are going to change, right? The emotions that are causing you to overeat, to overwork, to stay underpaid, right? To stay where you are, those have to change. If you're going to create this new self, this new thing that you really, really want. Just expect it already. The universe is going to give you people, places, books, interviews, right? This might be one, right? To help you change. Right. It's helping you. The quicker you change, the less stress you'll experience. The more you hold on, the more you resist, the more the stress will perpetuate, the harder it will be for you to move forward. And I want to say here 100%, and I know you support this 100% too, Marcy, when you're going through this kind of thing, at whatever moment you feel inclined, you have to have support, okay? Someone who's gone through what you're going through isn't going to have the same perception of it as you, right? So you may think, oh my God, this damn weight, sucks, right? Weightlifting sucks, right? Going to my boss and asking for a raise. They're not going to give it to me. They're not going to say yes. It's not going to happen, right? Going after that big client in your entrepreneurial endeavors, right? Going and asking people to, invest in a big deal for you, right? You're going to think to yourself, I don't know how I can do this, or I've never done this, right? Go and seek out someone in one of these areas that's really important to you who's done it. It's going to make the learning curve easier. They're going to be able to keep the waters calm, right? As you're going through this. And more importantly, they'll be able to see your own blind spots. We all have blind spots. Yeah. They're going to be able to see your own blind spots so that you can do the shift. Because some of this stuff is deep. And so sometimes it's like, you're holding on a person, place, thing, thought, emotion for too long. Sometimes you can't see it. So it's really important to get support, someone who's done it. It could be a book, it could be a group, whatever comes into your environment, whatever you feel called to. Even if you don't consciously know, you're going to feel like this feels like something I should be doing. That's when you need to go ahead and do it.
And it's going to scare you as well. Like you mentioned before, the big vision will scare you. And also asking for support and paying for support and investing in support will also scare you. And that's part of the process too.
Yeah.
So expect change, because right now you're in your comfort zone, and the only way to get something different is to leave that comfort zone, and that's going to be uncomfortable, and that's going to require change.
Correct.
Yeah.
And it's one of these things, like, it's so simple, right? But everything we're talking about in this interview, if you go back to it and revisit it for your current situation or something that you want that just hasn't been happening for you, and you take that accountability and you think about it for yourself, you'll be like, oh yeah, that's where it is. I'm either not going clearly for what I want. Oh yeah, I haven't been willing to have that conversation with that person. I've been talking about hiring a coach for years to help me lose weight. I have the card, right? It's probably right here to the right of your desk, right? But you haven't actioned it yet, right? So this is not about these concepts and what we're talking about. This is not rocket science, right? This is simple, but sometimes the simplest things in life are not easy. And so that's why, again, getting support, someone who can say, hey, did you call the trainer? Right? You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing can help us. Another thing that I want to add in the big shift here is that we've kind of been hardwired to, especially overachievers, right? Especially people who know we can go out there. By the way, I was a Division I athlete. I got a full scholarship, right? I'm a type A personality. I can make things happen. I've been making things happen my whole life, okay? And that type of personality is, I'm just gonna get in there and make it happen, right? And this can work, and it will work, and it has worked up to a certain point. Because one of the things that we're all limited with is time. There's only 24 hours in a day. We have to sleep, we have to eat, right? We have to make choices about what we want to do with our time. And when we're overwhelmed and we're stressed out, right, we're not making the choices for us that we know we need support, right? We need to hire someone. We need to delegate. We need to get a coach. We need to get accountability. Sometimes we feel like we should be able to do it all on our own. The truth is, you can't do it all on your own if you want to work 24 hours a day and never sleep, right? But if you want to have some balance in your life, right, then we have to go ahead and say, you know what, this is more about priorities than anything, right? This isn't about me being a failure. This isn't about me being able to not get it done. This is about priorities. How do I bring people into my life that I can trust, that can help me shift and help me get the priorities that are important to me in my life done?
Right. And they can save you weeks, months, and years in the process.
Yeah, absolutely.
Figure it out yourself.
Totally.
Okay. Yeah. So excellent. And what's the third thing?
So the third tip is really about adopting a different principle of life. And we've all heard about the word abundance, right? That, and it's a nice word and it's good. It's a theory word, right? But the third tip is really about big abundance. And this is really about adopting a principle, a thought that life is conspiring for your good, okay? Now, what that means is when you adopt this principle and you're being asked to change, okay? If you look at it from this principle and you kind of accept this in your heart, this is an inside thing. You'll be willing to make the change. If you think you're losing something, if you think you're going to lose out, you're not going to be willing to make the change, right? So really about adopting the fact that we live in a world that's conspiring for our good. At any time we let go of one thing, something else more expanded can step in its place. We have to do this. If we don't have the abundance mentality, what's going to happen is we're just going to focus on what we're letting go. We're just going to focus on shit. I'm sweating in the gym, right? My ass is tired, right? When we understand that, hey, this is what's going to take for me to have a more expanded, healthy body, to have more energy, to have more vitality, right? Firing somebody, right, is what's going to happen for me to get the support I need so that I can go home and be with my kids at 6 p.m. because I need someone who can do these particular things for my life. So abundance is something that we have to adopt personally as we're making choices and changes, right? It's a personal choice that we're moving into a world, we're moving into a thought and a principle that it's going to be better.
Yes.
Right? You know what I mean? And so again, the reason why I didn't just say, you know, vision and shift and abundance, this is big vision, this is big shift, this is big abundance, right? Which means that when you're going for what you really want, when you're going for something big, right, you have to hold on to principles that are going to support you to make big shifts in life.
Yes, this is so important. This is mindset stuff. So this is
Totally.
foundational stuff
Totally.
that affects everything. The way you look at things, the way you choose to perceive and believe about things. So I also believe that life happens for us, not to us. We're not victims. We are creators, and we can create and attract and bring in what we want. And part of it is, you're exactly right, is that abundance mindset, is connecting into when something horrible happens, it's happening for me somehow, even though I don't see it now.
And I'll give you an example, right? I'm a single parent, right? And so, you know, adopting this mindset really helped me because hi guys, I took my headsets off. You're exciting me so much, Marcy. No, you know, what adopting this mindset really meant was when there were times that I had to shift things in my life and kind of say, you know what, I deserve to breathe. I deserve to have a little bit more time in my life, right? I had to go to someone who, you know, my ex who, you know, our relationship isn't always great, right? And I had to adopt an abundance mindset saying, you know what, I can ask for what I need, right? And that this person can shift too, right? That's what abundance means. Things that anything can shift, right? And if he isn't willing to support me, that's fine. There's another person coming right behind him who's going to support me with whatever it might be, time, energy, whatever, right? So it's going back sometimes and revisiting and asking people in our lives to maybe step up in a different way, right? Not just labeling them as small, labeling them as what we thought about, right? Maybe we've never asked them. Maybe we've always done it ourselves, right? And so we've just assumed they're not going to help, or we've assumed they can't do it, or we've assumed that they're going to be a certain way. But we haven't shifted in ourselves to ask in a way that elicits their participation, in a way where they want to help, right? So this isn't just about the sky is falling, right? This is just about, hey, what do I have in my environment right now that I can really lean on, right? Who can support me?
Yeah, and also a clear, direct ask of someone for support is really powerful. Just stepping into, you know, I'm okay to ask for support. You know, there are times when all of us that we can't do it ourselves, and so just to be really clear and direct about, you know, this is where I could, you know, I'd like your support. And so, that's it. And also being able to receive that support. Yeah.
Receiving is a huge thing for all of us. I don't know one of us who doesn't really have some sort of challenge with receiving, because receiving means you kind of have to open yourself up to another human being, right? And you can't control them. You only can control yourself, right? So, you know, you don't know what's going to happen, right? When you ask someone for support, you don't know what's going to happen when you take an action, right? What I can tell you is no matter what happens, you're strong enough to get through it. You're strong enough to get on track. And most of the time, you know, people will help you. People you don't even think will help you, people who have been adversaries will help you. So, you know, it's just something that our minds think, well, no, it didn't happen before. It can't happen again. So it's something to shift on the inside.
Yeah, and sometimes it takes vulnerability to ask and to receive. And that's actually a beautiful space to be growing into, because vulnerability helps connect us to ourselves and connect us with others. You know, it helps them get to know who you are and what's really going on behind the scenes, not just that superficial outside.
Yes. And again, type A overachievers, we've got a lot on our plate, right? This is like literally, I would rather someone tell me, go, hike Mount Everest. I'd be like, you know what? If I have to ask for that person for that thing versus hiking for Mount Everest, you know what? I'm going to go hike Mount Everest. I mean, that's literally how much I don't like it, right? I don't like being vulnerable. I don't like people seeing. This is where you get to a point in life where you can't move to the next step unless you acknowledge this, because receiving and giving are the same thing, right? You can't receive without a giver. You can't give without a receiver. So it's something that, again, sometimes there's a blind spot. That's where it's really great to have support, right? And it's one of those things that for overachievers, it's a practice. It's a practice. I mean, I still have to practice it often, right?
It's an acquired skill.
It is. It's like literally like riding a bike, right? It's something you have to practice. But the more that we do it, the quicker we do it, actually, the quicker we ask, get clear, make a shift, ask, receive, the quicker you can get through that process, you're going to start seeing stress falls off your back. You're going to start seeing that you have people around you that are much more supportive, because people, when you're willing to receive, that means you have to have a healthy giver around you, right? Which takes weight off you. So the quicker you do these things, the quicker life starts to get a lot less stressful. So I'm saying, do it now.
Right. Allow this in now.
Yes.
Okay. So your 3 tips were to get clear on your vision, your big vision, something that scares you a little bit, expect change and get support in making those changes. And then the mentality, the mindset, choosing to believe, because our beliefs can be a choice, that life is happening for you, that the universe gives you exactly what you need when you need it, and it's abundance mindset.
Correct. Exactly what you need. It means when you're looking at something in your life and you don't like it, you say to yourself, this is happening because this is exactly what I need when I need it. Humility is paramount in change and growth, 100%.
Right. Being open to different ways of doing things and different ways of having your vision unfold. It doesn't always, in fact, it often doesn't happen the way we think it's going to happen. And
it never happens the way we think it's going to happen. Never.
And that's part of being comfortable with the uncertainty or the change. You called it change, but I also think uncertainty and ambiguity is part of that
out of your comfort zone. What our comfort zone is it's that part of ourselves that when we're in our comfort zone, it means we're relating to life based on what we know, right? We had an event, we had training, we had thinking, we have right? We know our partner is going to come home. We know what they're going to say. We've already have agreements with them. That's great. We all have a comfort zone. That's wonderful, right? But when you step into the unknown, when you're going into change, you don't have that comfort zone anymore, right? So the key to creating success and bringing your stress down is to create safety within yourself when you don't have that certainty outside of yourself, right? You have to create it within yourself. You have to be comfortable with the fact that someone is going to judge you. People are going to judge you. It's not going to go right. Remember, I told you, it's about telling you the truth, right? The more you understand these things are going to happen, the more you'll be able to say, okay, it's going to happen. That doesn't mean I still don't go after my dream. That doesn't mean I still don't get the support I need, right? That doesn't mean I still don't ask for what I want, right? It's all going to happen. And I'm still going to do those things. Why? Because I deserve it. Because I love myself. Because it's not, and then the real reason is because it's too painful to stay where I'm at.
Right. Because there's such a yearning that it won't let you rest anymore.
Yes, exactly. So this can go very quickly. And then you get to the other side and you're like, oh my God, why didn't I do this earlier? There's so much support. There's so much love. There's so much goodness. There's so much life. Why didn't I do this earlier, right? Sooner. Anybody who's flipped the switch on their life knows that. Like, wow. And again, this is not everybody has this, right? Most of us in, in the United States, right, have been brought up with what I call middle-class mindset, right? Which is you work hard, you're very loyal, right? You give yourself to a cause, a job, a relationship, and that's supposed to make you happy, right? Mm-hmm. And that those things are going to make you happy. And the thing is that sometimes it makes you happy, sometimes it doesn't, right? And so we have to go on this journey in our own self to say, well, what is life about outside of that, right? Again, this doesn't have to be about running your own business. I work with entrepreneurs, right? That's great, right? But it can be about, you know what? You don't want to be in the job that you're in anymore, right? Mm-hmm. It's just not fulfilling. You want to jump. You want to take big leaps in your life, right? When you're going to take a big leap, you have to become bigger. You have to become bigger. You're the sum results of every choice, feeling, action, and what you believe is possible for yourself in your life. That's your life. Mm-hmm. So if you want to change it, right, you have to get bigger, right? You have to grow and change it, get better. And so again, unless someone has done this, right, this is not, you notice I'm not giving you any formulas here. Mm-hmm. You notice I'm not saying, if you do X, Y, and Z, then you're going to get the Holy Grail. Because sometimes X, Y, Z works for one person, mm-hmm. sometimes the other person's ABC, right? Yes. So this is a very unique and personal thing for all of us, right? And I know even on my entrepreneurial journey, I've had wonderful business mentors who I adore, and who I still get business mentoring from this day to this day. But it really wasn't until I started working with more personal development mentors, mastering that inner game to understand, okay, now I understand, yes, there's a lot of tools up there. There's a lot of formulas. For me, I need this little piece here, that little piece there. But more importantly, I need to step out and do what I'm not comfortable with to get more out of my life than I have now, right? And so being supported in that, every time I've done that, I've changed my income. My life has gotten better. My health has gotten better. So it's more about having fundamental principles about life and how to deal with life and how to understand yourself and your motivations and why you do things and change and growth. Those things will help you more because no matter what happens, you'll go back to the core principles.
I love it. And Ty, I love what you said also about creating that safety and that trust within yourself, because external circumstances change. Yes. People come and go in our lives. Absolutely. And the constant is yourself. So when you can create that safe harbor within yourself, which I think is one of the reasons we're all here, to be able to have that experience of doing that for ourselves. And it's so powerful, and it's an ongoing practice. And it's, something that we can keep working on. And the other thing is, you mentioned it's about the journey, it's not the happiness, it's the pursuit of happiness. So that journey being so pivotal. And, within that, you can still have success and results and so forth. Thank you so much. Amazing wisdom.
Yeah. Again, another thing in society is we're taught, right and wrong, right? If you do it right, you're going to be happy, and it's funny because when I look back at my life, if anybody were to ask me, would I be doing what I'm doing? I'd be like, no. I wanted to go the right path. I went to the private college, right? I did the thing. I wanted to be some VP in corporate. I wanted to date some ex-pro athlete with 6-pack abs and have 2.5 kids and a white picket fence, right? That to me was right? That's to me what I was pursuing in life. But then I had this thing inside that was like, this is not it, right? This is not it. So one of the things I also would say, there's no right or wrong. Mm-hmm. There's just choices and results of those choices. And you can make new choices at any time. And when you make new choices, you get new results, right? Mm-hmm. So, it's the right or wrong in life, that's, again, moving past the formulas. Again, we can always get support. We can always get you want to lose weight? Yeah, work with a trainer. They know how to lose weight, right? But I can tell you one thing. You're not going to work with the same trainer forever, right? It's a journey. You change. Mm-hmm. Honor that. Something changes within you. have a, complete the agreement that you had with the person, be totally forthwith, totally honest with them from the heart, and then do what you need to do to make your life happy. There's no right or wrong here. There's about your happiness, right? Your joy. And you need to do that. No one can do that from you. People aren't mind readers, right? If you, come to me and I think you're happy and you're not, and you don't say anything to me, I'm going to keep being the same, right? So, that right or wrong conversation, when we move into authenticity means your yes is your yes and your no is your no. If you shoot for authenticity with yourself and other people, you start to trust yourself more because you're not betraying yourself. That's the number one thing. Humanity, if I could put it in one word, we betray ourselves all the time. We say yes when we mean no. We say no when we mean yes. How can we even trust ourselves in that situation? We can't. The way you work on trust with the self is to work on authenticity. The more authentic you become with your own self, you attract people who are more authentic into your life. No right or wrong. Just authenticity.
I love that you're taking not only a business and success approach, but you have a very spiritual approach too, which, like you said earlier, we're whole beings. We have all these different components. We're not just our minds. We're, our souls and our bodies and everything. So I can tell, I know you've done spiritual work with Samai and I can tell.
Yeah. I mean, and what's funny about it is the reason why I say, if you ask me, because I never, I would just kind of the spirituality thing for me, kind of I fell into it. Right. And I've been, I would say my son's 15. I think really what happened when my son was born, there's just this thing inside of me where I was like, I want to be the best person that I can be. And that was a natural seeking. Right. So I've had a pretty, meditation and a decent spiritual practice for about 15 years now. And, what I've learned is I used to think that there's this business thing over here, right? And then there's my spiritual practice over there, right? But how I show up in my life, which I kind of put in the spiritual bucket, impacts everything in my life. And every time I noticed I would make a shift in this spiritual bucket, I'd be like, oh my God, the business bucket was way better with way less effort, right? So, I now am, kind of committed to, if you're limiting yourself, if you're limiting your possibilities in life, if you're limiting what's possible for yourself for a number of reasons, there's no blame. We've all done it, right? Then how can we get what we want out of life, right? Without killing ourselves, right? Without living up to some other's version of our life, which isn't our own. So I just realized through trial and error, basically a lot of trial and a lot of error, that the more I went for oh, wow, how am I seeing this? How am I seeing myself? Am I limiting myself here? Am I coming at this as I have no power in this situation? Am I giving this person all of my power, right? Am I not asking, right? Am I not getting clear? If I'm not believing myself, some of these fundamental things, whenever I looked in a situation from that point of view and then took the action to say, okay, I'm going to talk with this person, or I'm going to have the conversation, or I'm going to do what I need to do for no other reason than the fact that my priorities have changed for me, right? It just got easier. I literally, I remember when I made the biggest shift that I did with this is when I made the shift in 2011 to make over 6 figures. And it happened in 30 days. It was just a decision. And again, started relating with myself different, relating with the world different. And within 30 days, the opportunity had manifested itself, right? To work with a much larger client, someone that I never thought of working with in the past, right? That I never thought that I deserved, never thought that I could actually do it, right? But the truth is that I could do it, right? This is how fast things happen if we allow it to happen. And so, this is one of the things that I think when I work with my clients, they get results really quick because we're not just saying build a website, do your marketing, right? We all have to do that. We have to connect with other people, but we're also saying, how are you relating to everything, right? How are you relating to yourself? You can't talk about abundance, right? And live in lack. You're completely inauthentic, right? People can feel that, right? You have to be in alignment, right? This is one of the reasons why you're seeing so much going on in the world right now, is because we're being asked not to change outward stuff. We're being asked to change inward stuff.
Yes.
And so this is why we have to approach it. Yes, logical, left brain, tools, tactics. Yes, we need those. We also need heart. We also need our creativity. We also need our energy. We also need positive emotions. We also need our belief system to be right. We need all of that for us to be fulfilled and happy. And so what I love about my life is I get to kind of attack it on those both angles. But I'll tell you, if I could have done just the left brain and done not the other one, I would have been happy. Just like I would have been with the pro with the 6-pack abs.
Right. Yeah, it's tempting to just focus on the tactical piece of it, the strategies, because those are the things that make sense, and you do this and you get this and you have this formula. And it can never be the full picture. That will get you some success and that will work to a certain level. And same goes for health. When I work with people on their health and weight loss and so forth. And it's that inner game, that inner evolution and growth that really takes you to the next level and sustains those changes so that you don't regress.
Absolutely. It's like, when you, like when you have a client, some people need to work out more, but some people need to work out less. So, you know what I mean? Every person's different, right? So, understanding that every human being is different. There's no cookie cutter approach to your life. It's a journey. It's a process. Allow that to happen. Work with mentors who understand that, who aren't going to actually put you just in a box, right? Who are going to look at you holistically, who are going to look at your life, who are going to honor you as a human being, right? And who are going to say, okay, we're going to start here and we're going to end there. And it's going to be a journey. And I'm going to support you every way, every step of the way. These are the best mentors I've ever had, right? Because it never happens the way we think it's going to happen, right? Depending on where we're at, we need a different tool, So just allowing that to unfold within our lives, within our businesses, giving ourselves a break, taking the pressure off, allowing life to be abundant and to be in your corner, and to no matter where you're at right now, it's always been in your corner.
Yeah.
Always.
Yes.
Yeah.
We just didn't necessarily recognize it.
Exactly.
Such a beautiful message, Ty. Thank you so much for sharing this today. Again, I love how it looks like it's a business thing on the surface, but it's actually like so much more.
Exactly. And I just want to say thank you so much for having me on. And, this, again, if I were going to whittle it down, you're so much more powerful than you know. Hold on to that. So much more powerful than than you're consciously aware of. Allow life to open up and give you everything that you want with joy and abundance and fulfillment and no stress and no strain. That's human creation. That's not the universe. That's not life. Let's let it go. And let's step into our true power. That's it. That's just our birthright.
Yes. Thank you for that message. I love it. Will you tell everyone where they can connect with you? And I think you have something for them as well.
Yeah. So you can connect with me. My company is Hello Trailblazer. So you can find me at hellotrailblazer.com. And if you go to hellotrailblazer.com/gift, I'll give you a free ebook to really deepen in with exercises that you could actually do to shift a lot of this stuff, shift the mindset, really love yourself, really trust yourself, really give yourself permission to go after what you really want. Allow your life to be one that really honors you. and the people around you. And so again, it's called Blaze Your Own Damn Trail. It's my free ebook to you. It's about how to really step into what's possible for your life and in business. And by the way, all this stuff, you still increase your bottom line.
Yeah.
So hellotrailblazer.com/gift.
Great. So I'm going to have a link for everyone. Make sure you connect with Ty there by getting her free book. And that sounds amazing. And then you'll also stay updated on what she's up to. And perhaps for some of you, you're going to want to even reach out to her and see if she's a good mentor for you. She's doing amazing things and creating an amazing impact in the world. And now we know why after we've spoken with you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Marcy. I love all of you, and I love you so much. Thank you so much. I'm honored for the time.
Thank you, my dear. So Ty Bethune, hellotrailblazer.com. And I want to say thank you to everyone who joined us today for tuning in for the Cutting Edge Convention. I'm honored to have you in my life. And please stay tuned for the rest of the presentations. There's just so much goodness here. And Ty, we really appreciate you coming on today.
Great. Thank you so much for your time, Marcy. Have a blessed and wonderful day.
Thank you. And to everyone else, have a happy, healthy day. Bye for now.
Thank you for being part of the Cutting Edge Convention. We don't want you to miss a single valuable session. To have the entire event available to you at any time, purchase the package now before the event ends. That's when the price goes up. And watch your emails to get your next steps from Marcy.